Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fabela iMag, your channel for video app reviews. My name is Fabian and today I'm going to show you an app review of Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI is the app version of the Super Nintendo classic from 1994. In America, the title was named Final Fantasy III. You can call Final Fantasy VI a classic more than other parts of the series, because Final Fantasy VI is one of the most legendary games of the Final Fantasy series and is generally considered as one of the best games of all time. Now, Final Fantasy VI has been released for iOS and Android for the usual high SquareEnix price of €14.49. The story of the game begins with the backside of the Magic War, which brought nothing but destruction and desperation to the people around 1,000 years ago. Meanwhile, humanity has developed and made virtuoso inventions. Iron has been discovered, gunpowder invented, and steam engines and other technologies conquer the land. The Empire rules with an iron fist over the land and the magic has vanished. So, no magic anymore? No. A young girl named Terra still has some magical powers. However, Terra is under the ban of the Empire, and the Empire uses Terra's forces for their own purposes. But suddenly, a relic from the Magic War appears, and Terra meets the young man Locke by chance. This is the beginning of a story that shall change the world as people know it. The story of Final Fantasy VI is complex and retold through many dialogues and text boxes, but also small cutscenes. Even by today's standards, the story is thrilling, features lots of twists and turns, but also lots of emotion. Compared to previous apps of the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy VI is fully localized in English, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Spanish and Chinese. So the adventure can be enjoyed by even more people than before. The gameplay itself is typical for Final Fantasy. You are moving on a world map from place to place. You visit villages and dungeons and fight against randomly spawning enemies. For the story, relevant opponents still appear at predetermined locations. You speak with countless characters, upgrade your equipment in stores, gain experience points and become more powerful as you progress through the adventure. The battle system is turn-based as in the original. In terms of controls, it has been optimized for touchscreens. Anyone who has played the other Final Fantasy games on mobile devices will immediately feel at home. In general, the touchscreen controls work well, but they don't feel intuitive and occasionally suffer from a little lag and a lack of precision. One of the main innovations of Final Fantasy VI compared to previous episodes is the fact that you can now take control over all of the characters. Furthermore, the app features some new graphics. The game figures, the backgrounds and the upper world were modified for nowadays high-resolution touchscreens. The subtle modernization of the graphics may not be to everyone's taste, but in general, SquareEnix has done a good job. Another new feature is that you can now run diagonally compared to the original Final Fantasy VI, and that you get a flashing question mark with hints if you are stuck in a place. In addition, the developers included a little additional content of the Final Fantasy VI remake from 2006. Furthermore, iOS players have the possibility to upload their saves to the iCloud and download it from there again. So you can comfortably play on multiple devices. In album mode, you can also look at the key moments of the story again at any time. conclusion, Final Fantasy VI is the best Final Fantasy game for iOS and Android. Although the classic has been gathering some dust here and there, the game itself is so great that the few flaws like some outdated graphics, the laggy controls or the huge amount of text are no real problems. You will be compensated with a magical story, an atmospheric adventure, a fantastic game world and many hours of gameplay. For an app, the price of €14.49 is not cheap, but you will also be busy for weeks. Furthermore, the soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu is fantastic and absolutely worth to be heard nowadays. For those of you who do not know the original and love RPGs, Final Fantasy VI is a must-have. What's your opinion about the game? Please write it into the comments. Thanks for watching and see you next video.